Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Buffett and Beyond Research Saturday ETF report. And this week we're going over the semiconductor ETF because it's been the hottest ETF so far this week. And this is June 21st, 2025. And remember, folks, if you want to live on the beach like Jimmy Buffett once did, you've got to learn how to invest even better than Warren Buffett does now. And let us go to the XSD. And we can see black line is the S&P 500, and we can see the semiconductors have been having a hard time this year, just as the tech stocks are. And in fact, it's down about 3%, while the market is up about 2%. So let's go see what's going on. Now, let's look at the XSD over the past 5 years. Again, black line is the S&P 500. XSD is up about 120%, with the S&P up about a little over 90% for the year so far. And I'm recording this in the middle of the day on Friday, so it'll change by the end of the day for sure. Okay, let's go to 6 years of the best, but this is the XLK, the technology that we went over last week, and I just want to bring you to the bottom line here. The XLK returned 275% versus the S&P of 135%, but the top stocks in the technology gained 596%. Now let's go to the semiconductor, which we're going over this week right now, and we're looking at compounded return 555 or 554, compounded return of the XSD itself 282, and the S&P 500 135. So you can see, let's go back to the XLK, and you can see they're almost the same. So good returns in the tech sector and good returns in the semiconductor sector. So let's go over the semiconductor for 2025, and we took two stocks out of last year's portfolio, Lattice Semiconductor and MaxLinear Semiconductor, because Lattice Semiconductor, the ROE, clean surplus ROE, fell down to 12%, and MaxLinear fell down to 8%. So we replaced them with Rambus and Credo Tech. So we're looking at the returns. Now let's come over here to, and again, this is 2025. So we're looking at just about this first 6 months of this year. The XSD is down 1.9%, the S&P up 1.7%. Our top stocks are up 12.7%. And one of the things I want to show you is that if we did the hedging technique where we go long the top stocks and go short the index itself, we're actually up more than just buying the top stocks, up 14.6%. And the reason we're up more than just buying the top stocks is because the semiconductor went down 1.9%. And if you short that, you actually made money. So that's one of the freak of nature out there that we have. And I want to show you how to use the computer program to find the two stocks that we put into the portfolio and replace the other ones. Well, the two stocks that we replaced, their ROEs went down. So we're going to our site. And folks, if you haven't seen the complete science of the greatest stock selection method ever, click on this at the home site. You don't have to sign in or anything. Just go to the site, click on it, and it's a really nice video. So, but up here, we're going to go to the subscribers locker. And if you're a subscriber, you come here and it goes to the subscribers locker. We go to the ETF individual stock database, click on that. Click here to access the ETF, click there. And we come here, scroll down, and it says click here to access the ETF one more time. And then we come to the stock computer program, come over here to ETFs. And then we look over here to the popular ETFs, and we're going over the semiconductor. So all you have to do is click that. You don't even have to put the name in here. Just click on the XSD semiconductor, and it brings up the XSD semiconductor. Click the ROE here, and it brings the stocks up in this semiconductor ETF from the lowest to the highest. And click it again, it goes from the highest to the lowest. And what do we look at? The first one is Avago. Well, I should say Broadcom, used to be Avago, and it has a nice high ROE, and it's getting higher. So we look at 26, projected to be high, and folks, we're looking at stocks with ROEs 20% or better. So Avago or Broadcom certainly fits the bill. NVIDIA, yeah, we know that fits the bill. Now, look at this Impinj company, stock symbol PI, and it's got a nice high ROE for 2026, but look at 2025, and look at the 3-year ROE. Well, that's high. 2025 was low. 5-year ROE is low. So we look at this, 10-year ROE negative. We look at that, we just cast it out. Manpower, same thing, or monolithic power systems, and it has a nice high ROE, and we're used to that stocks. Alib or Astera Labs, high ROE for 26, nothing going on these other years, so that stock has not been around for a long time. If you want to look at it, click on that stock. Yeah, it's been around for about a year or two, so we're not even going there. AMD, Advanced Microsystems, we've gone over that very recently in our Saturday letter, and we like this stock. First Solar, nice high ROE, but the thing that we don't like about First Solar is there's tax credits involved with that company, and it was supported by the government at one time. Just a mess. Anything that has to do with the government, where the president can change something or Congress can change something, you just kind of stay away from unless you get in at the very beginning, like a Tesla or electric cars, that type of thing. But, we just stay away from that. Then we come to Rambus, and yeah, nice high ROE all along. We like that. Micron Technology, nice high ROE for 26, not so much for 25, even less than the 3-year ROE, and even less than the 5-year ROE. So we'll stay away from that. Maybe it's getting to be a better company, but we want to see consistency, because it had a nice high 10-year ROE, and then it went down, started going down. So we just don't trust it. And then C-Time Corporation, too low in here. Too low, even though it's good for 2026, but that's projected. Credo Technology, 20%, then 18%, 14%. Normally, we would say we don't like that stock because it's got a 3-year ROE pretty low, but it is going up, and the markets like stocks that have increasing clean surplus ROEs. What does that mean? It means that the earnings are increasing at an accelerating rate. So we'll put that in there, and then we get to all the stocks, many of which we've heard from, but it's under a 20% ROE, under a 20% ROE, and even 3-year ROE under 20%. So we'll stop right there. And folks, that's how we pick the stocks for actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 stocks for the ETF XSD. But I'll tell you what, since these stocks, 2 stocks are new, even though the returns have been very, very good for these stocks, it's more risky. That's why we have the 18 or so stocks in our all-star portfolio, because it contains 3 or 4 of these stocks, and it's less risky than this portfolio is. But boy, as we showed before, you can get some serious returns in the tech and the semiconductor industries. So folks, we had a tumultuous week this week, and I've been saying that every day for the past 2 months, I think, 3-4 months. And yeah, the war in the Middle East and tariffs and everything going on. So it's been crazy. So go out this weekend, have a good weekend, be with your family, stay safe, whatever you do, take your mind off the market. And folks, we'll see you right back here in a couple of days.